Led Zeppelin presented a different kind of challenge. Unlike Kiss, there was no doubt about who controlled the band: Jimmy Page.
Jimmy's the director. He had all the ideas and all the stuff about how he thought it could sound, but then once the two of us got in the studio, it was a very creative conglomeration of two guys working together at the console, and very exciting to work with him.
On the second album, we go in to record at Olympic in Barnes. First album's done at Olympic, but we go in there. There's a different engineer. We haven't got Glyn Johns there.
Kramer engineered Led Zeppelin II, an album that helped solidify the group's status as one of the greatest rock acts of all time. However, the way it was recorded made it one of the most difficult projects Kramer had ever been involved with. Zeppelin was constantly on tour, which meant sessions were squeezed into whatever studio was available at the time. We were piecing the album together in different places, in between shows, trying to make it all work.
I had other things. I had Ramble On, but we weren't to record those until we were in America.
Page was the driving force behind the band's sound, and his perfectionism could make the process painstakingly slow. Jimmy was meticulous. Every note, every tone, it all had to be exactly how he imagined it. While that level of dedication contributed to Zeppelin's legendary status, it also meant long hours in the studio, with Kramer having to adjust to Page's endless tweaking. Tensions occasionally flared when Page felt his vision wasn't being realized. He had a very specific way he wanted things to sound, and if it wasn't right, we'd do it again and again. Kramer respected Page's work ethic, but the constant adjustments could be exhausting. The Rolling Stones thrived on chaos, but that same unpredictability made their recording sessions difficult. Kramer worked with the band on Beggar's Banquet and Let It Bleed, two albums that helped define their late 60s sound. Keith Richards, in particular, was notorious for his unconventional working habits. Keith was brilliant, but he wasn't someone who followed the usual structure of a session. He would often show up at odd hours, expecting everyone to be ready whenever inspiration struck. That spontaneity contributed to some of the band's best moments, but it also made it hard to maintain any sense of order. Brian Jones was another challenge. By the time Kramer worked with the Stones, Jones was in steep decline. His drug use had made him unreliable, and his contributions to the band were diminishing. Brian was barely there, physically and mentally, Kramer admitted. There was an unspoken understanding in the studio that Jones was on his way out. You could feel the shift happening, and it created this weird atmosphere.
I always felt very sorry for Brian. Fame doesn't sit very comfortably on anyone's shoulders. But some people's shoulders doesn't seem to sit on at all, and he was one of them. I don't think it suited him.
The Stones had always been a band fueled by internal tension, but during that period, the fractures were becoming too deep to ignore.